Hello, I am Jesse Salles, and this is my presentation on the history of engineering. The first project we'll be looking at is Zhang Heng's seismoscope. This was invented or engineered in 132 AD. This was the first seismoscope in history. Now, a seismoscope is a device for detecting earthquakes. This was invented in China, which is very earthquake prone. It was made out of bronze and it had a barrel-like structure that was almost 6 feet wide. Now, around the barrel were 8 dragons that were in the subdivided compass directions: north, south, east, west, and the ones in between. Now, the dragon in the direction of the quake would drop a bronze ball into the toad's mouth when an earthquake was detected. Each dragon held a bronze ball in its mouth, and directly below each dragon was a bronze toad with an open mouth. We don't know exactly how this device was triggered by an earthquake, but when it detected an earthquake, the dragon in the direction of the quake would drop the ball into the below toad's mouth, making a sound and alerting people. In the year 138 AD, it detected a quake 1,000 miles away, and the news was reported by a messenger a few days later. The second engineering project is the massive land reclamation in the Netherlands. Now, this has been going on for a long time. It started in the 700s and to the 1200s, and still some of it is going on today. Here you can see maps from the year 1300 and now, or at least what they thought it looked like in the year 1300, and now what it looks like today. From the website thoughtco.com, quote, on December 14th, 1287, the Turpin and dikes that held back the North Sea failed, and water flooded the country. Known as the St. Lucia's Flood, this flood killed over 50,000 people and is considered one of the worst floods in history. End quote. Over the next few hundred years, the Dutch built dikes to keep the ocean back and also push the ocean back to create more dry land called polders. They used canals and pumps to move the water at first, but later began using windmills to generate power to do so. Next, we have the telescope. This was first created in the early 1600s. Here's a picture of Galileo showing his telescope. Now, before the telescope, many theories and opinions were held about the position of the planets and the heavens. The telescope laid these to rest by showing up close what is really out there in the universe. It's not clear who exactly invented the first telescope. It was probably many people working together and sharing ideas. The telescope has 2 lenses, one convex lens and one concave lens, set far apart in a tube. This simple design allows for seeing objects clearly from far away and closely. Now, I went there too early, but this is the next one, the Iron Bridge. This was constructed in the years 1777 to 1779. Here you can see a picture of it today. The Iron Bridge is located in Shropshire, England, and it crosses the Severn River near Coalbrookdale. It is 100 feet long, and it is still in use today for pedestrians. It is the first structure in the world that was made from cast iron. The story about it is Abraham Darby invented the process of smelting iron using coke. Now his grandson, Abraham Darby III, cast the iron for the bridge. Also, in 1932, they paraded an elephant across for a parade or demonstration. Now, for the modern sewer system, this is the next engineering project. The Great Stink of London, England, in the summer of 1858 was what triggered the need for change in the sewer system. The huge amounts of human waste that were dumped into the River Thames let off a horrible smell. Engineer Joseph Bazalgette designed a functioning underground sewer system. This replaced the old non-functional system, if you could even call it a system, with about 1,100 miles of sewers. These fed 82 miles of bigger intercepting sewers, which then took the waste east of London. These were built at a slight exact gradient using gravity to facilitate flow. Pumping stations were also set up to continue the flow to the Thames further down, much further down. The waste was then emptied into the river, which carried it out towards the sea eventually. Now these sewers contributed to the public health very greatly. Britain, in fact, only had one more cholera outbreak in 1866 after this. But this one more cholera outbreak was in a part of London which did not have the sewer system yet. And the last engineering project is the Citicorp Center or Citigroup Center near disaster. The Citigroup Center building in New York City was built in 1977 and it stands currently today over 900 feet tall. Now, the year it opened, an engineering student used this tower in her thesis for her college. While performing calculations of wind tolerance, her numbers weren't matching those that were given to her by the engineering company who designed the building. This eventually revealed a 1 in 16 chance of the building collapsing due to winds from the hurricane season. The hurricane season was fast approaching, and as soon as the engineering company learned about this, they did all that they could to save this building from collapsing into a domino effect on all the buildings in New York City, as you can see in this picture, within its damage radius. The main engineer found several miscalculations and mistakes and shortcuts taken in the construction of the tower. He developed a plan to fix it by welding steel plates over the weaker bolted joints. These repairs were made at night, and the public did not know about all this until 1995. The Red Cross, in fact, was brought in to estimate how bad the damage could have been if the tower was to collapse while they were doing these secret repairs after working hours. Alright, that is my engineering presentation.